So we have to do that extra bit. So again, I think that like Neville, the work that he does is probably on a much larger scale than what we do, and that's simply because they're a much bigger area and a much bigger place. But again, if I didn't have the volunteers and penny dinners, I suppose, that I have there, you wouldn't get them anywhere. Nothing I ask of them is too much for them. And we're grafters, you know, we're not in there like, you know, and the food doesn't magically appear. The chef goes in about 20 to 6 in the morning and they start kicking off the cooking. And at 9 o'clock people are sitting down having a 4-course meal. And you say at 9 o'clock, and we say, yeah, because they're hungry. People in their homes may not even have electricity, or they're afraid to spend it, like in case it eats into what they budget for. So, you know, people say, is it homeless people going to penny dinners? It's about 8%. The majority of people that come to us are people that are just struggling. People are finding it hard to manage. So we have everybody. We have men, we have women, we have old age pensioners, we have people who've lost their wives, lost their husbands. Loneliness is huge. So no matter what, and we've children coming into penny dinners. We do communion clothes for them so that they get dressed in their, you know, they'll have the best of communion gear, and we give it all out free. We get the hair done. Joseph's hair salon in Glasheen does all the hair, and Michael, one of our guys inside, he has limousines and buses and things like that, and he takes everybody out to Joseph's, and the pub across the way puts on food. So it's everything, you know, when people see it, they just want to do more to help. So I think, like what you did here tonight, and as Neville has said, like the clubs, the football clubs, you know, they're doing so much over. I'm sure this will take off here as well, because people are dying. They're dying on our streets, they're dying in their homes, they're dying of loneliness, they're dying because they can't afford doctors, they're dying because they're hungry, they're dying because the struggle is too much for them. And we went to the European Parliament a couple of years ago. The choir went out, and the High Hopes choir that you heard tonight, that came together a couple of years ago. And I know you all think we're fantastic. We're delighted with that. But we've actually been #1 in the charts 3 times. And one year we knocked Justin Bieber off the charts. He actually wrote, he sent an email to say he was glad that we knocked him off. But we've been #1 with Codaline with a song called High Hopes, and we've been #1 with Christy Moore, and we've been #1 with Bono and Snow Patrol and so on. So we do get our chance, but when we went to the European Parliament, we had 2 girls in the choir got up and gave testimonies, and they told everybody from Europe what was happening in our country. And because we have the highest instance of suicide amongst young people, we felt that we had to gear it towards that. In the choir, we have people that have been affected by homelessness, you know, whether they were homeless themselves, our family members, etc., mental health, addictions, and people that would, you know, have contemplated suicide. And what the choir actually does is it just binds people together, and it gives them support, and everybody in this choir. And I became the coordinator of the choir, but I think I'm very clever because I knew this lot were so special, and I sing with them, and we have the greatest fun. You know, the choir takes, you know, is proud of themselves no matter where they go. And last year we went to France, so when Everton are playing the next time, I'll tell you the story quickly. We went to France, and our musical director is Fabrice Fortune down here, and he's from Paris. So we have French classes at the minute going on. So he taught us the song No Je ne regrette rien, right? So we were on the streets of France and we sang that song, and the French, somebody said today it's because they like to protest, but we think they just enjoyed us. They just stopped, and you know that thing, I stopped all the traffic with a wave in my hand. Something like that happened, and it was very magical. And we got a message afterwards from Lourdes to say that because of our singing, they felt that France won the World Cup. So we're invited back in 4 years' time. So to Neville for coming and to listening, you know, to Neville's career is fascinating, and the thing is, as he said, you have to go in there focused, you have to go in to do your job. Same with all of us. If we don't do it, it means we go down and something happens on our watch. So we don't do that. We give out clothes, we give out tents, we give out sleeping bags, everything. If somebody gets a house, we can furnish it for them in less than an hour, because we'll put an appeal out and everybody will come forward. So, you see, again, it's going back to basics. People helping people, and that's what you've done tonight and all week long and the week before with Cian. So, Cian, thank you, and Neville, thank you. And the guys here are magical. I don't know if you've met them yet, but they're absolutely brilliant. So,
thanks very much, Catriona. I'm just going to take a photograph of Catriona and Neville.
Smile.
Ding ding.
Give it up for Catriona again. Thanks, Catriona. Very special woman. They're going to sing the Everton song later, by the way, yeah? What are they going to go? Okay. Okay, so what we do is that we just bring Declan in here first. Declan from the Everton, the Cork branch of the Everton Supporters Club, and they're going to make a presentation to our special guest tonight, Neville Southall. Thank you, Declan. This is a bit special, this piece, Neville. Declan and the lads have it here. And I know with the hand you have, you're not going to drop it. Safest hands in the house.
Ladies and gentlemen, it will be very difficult for me to follow Catriona because she was very eloquent. Just to say that we're 25 years old as a supporters club. It's coming up in December, and we've had a lot of members, so most of them we've been able to hold on to, and we're delighted that we can help here tonight with a charity event such as the Cork Penny Dinners. This man here on my right is one of our members since the beginning, and he's very, very popular. He bleeds blue blood the same as I do. When I'm in Belfast after the result, he's in Belfast, and we're in good form. But Frank has had Frank had a very difficult year. He lost his beloved son Darren, and Darren was also one of us. And I would like him now, on our behalf, to present this trophy to our greatest ever goalkeeper, without a doubt. And Neville and Frank, thank you very much. Sorry lads, can we just get a photograph there with the lads, just so they can already do with it? Do you want to take a photograph of the lads just being Sorry. This is Darren's man, Frank, and Michelle is here as well. This is Dan's sister.